All right, we live. I'm just gonna wait for that notification to pop up. All right, there you go. We live on YouTube. All right. So what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Nick's Knowledge and Notions in-Cube Science Series, brought to you by the Seven Spheres of Money and Duransburg International. I'm Nick Westbrooks. Of course, this is my show. I do these shows, Nick's Knowledge and Notions, A Story, DJ the Money Coach Expert Financial Series. I'm also the business manager for DJ the Money Coach, handling the day-to-day operations. But I started out as a client of DJ's a little over a year ago. And over that 1+ year, DJ's helped me to boost my credit score, save money on my car insurance, get a better rate on my life insurance, pay off my car note 6 months early, and get invested in small business opportunity, not small business opportunity, but business investment opportunity with DJ the Money Coach LLC, and he helped me get my corporation set up over that short period of time. So that's my story. Before I introduce my special guest for tonight, I'll have DJ give his brief intro of who he is and what he has to offer to the people. So what's going on, DJ?
Oh man, it's all good. It's all good. Friday night, baby. Weather is get a little fallish, which is good. That's why we got on the hoodies, baby. Keep it warm out there. So yeah, hey man, that's a great story that you have, Nick. Hats off to you. And if you're out there listening to us, we hope that you enjoy everything we have to bring to you, because it's going to be straight up real facts, no fiction. So my story is real simple. It's just like yours. About 23 years ago, I had a 525 credit score, had $40,000 worth of consumable debt, also had about $20,000 worth of student loans, and I was turned down for a mortgage, and then I was also turned down for a small business loan. But within the process of 12 months, I read a book called The Road to Wealth. I actually read one chapter in the book before I read it all. I read the chapter just about credit. And within 12 months, I took my credit score to 720. 24 months from there, I took my credit score to 800. And my credit score has been over 800 for, I think, about 17 straight years or 15 straight years. So hopefully everybody can see that, because, I like to say the proof is in the pudding,
Yeah, 817.
So, I also became consumer debt free within 2002, paid off all of my consumer debt, paid off my student loans and everything. And in 6 years after that, in 2008, I became a six-figure income earner passively, and also achieved a seven-figure net worth. But I'm not even excited about that, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm excited about is that over the past 2 decades, 20 years, we have helped 20,000 people like you and I, in middle class, Black, brown, white, Middle Eastern, Christians, Muslims, every sector of the United States, become consumer debt free. We help them get on the pathway to financial independence. We help them get started in businesses. We help them access people who have financial resources. And most importantly, we help them empower their dreams, to let them know that anything is possible if you can apply these two little dirty words, accountability and discipline, and then plug that into a proven system with people who are heroes with humility, integrity, and are real men or real women. You can be successful too. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And we are happy to be here on this platform with my man Nick and with this awesome guest. So I'm going to step aside and let Nick handle his business.
All right. Thank you for that intro, DJ. So the special guest, definitely special. This is my brother from Howard University. That's how we met. He's another multi-skilled, multifaceted brother. He's well known for mostly known for his music, but he's also a community activist. He's also politically connected. He's also an entrepreneur, businessman. He has his hands in so many different areas. So he's going to get into everything that he does. But I just wanted to give my brief introduction of him, and then first start out with actually two stories. one story is how I first got exposed to Tenn Stacks. Then my second story of how I officially met him and when we had our first conversation. Yeah, so I'll see if you remember these stories. So the first time was the first week I was on campus, in August. I was living in, I moved into Drew Hall. I was living there freshman year, and every Sunday they had the Sunday night ciphers, and normally they would be indoors, but it was August, it was still hot, and if you know about them DC summers, they're they're crazy, and Drew Hall didn't have heat either. I mean, didn't have AC either.
Woo!
Yeah. So we were out in the courtyard, Sunday night ciphers. DJ was out there. Tenn Stacks was performing "My Life at Howard," so that was my first time being exposed to Tenn Stacks. He's going to talk about "My Life at Howard." That song that definitely made some big waves on campus. And then the second, well, not the second time, but the first time I actually had a conversation with Tenn when we met officially. And this is another funny story. This was about a year later. I think about August 2010. It was on the National Mall. So on this day, it was one of those March on Washington anniversaries. There was two rallies going on. I think Glenn Beck from Fox News was having a big rally, and Al Sharpton was having the march and the rally that ended at the King Memorial. This is when they first broke ground on the King Memorial. So I had a Saturday class that year, so I got down to the National Mall, a little late, after the march started. So I was walking around, looking for my people, looking for the Al Sharpton's rally. It's a sea of white people out here on the National Mall. So of course, all the black folk are going to stand out in there. So I run into these two sisters, a little bit older sisters, not like college age. These two black women. So we were all looking for the same rally. So we were walking around together, trying to find our way. We see this black man. He's in the crowd. He's one of these vendors. He's selling the buttons, that you pin on to your clothes or to your bags. And one of them had President Obama's face with like the Joker grin on it, the Joker smile. So these two black women saw that, and they started grilling this dude. They started going in on him. So I'm standing to the side. I look over. Tenn Stacks is standing over there too. I'm like, oh, you're Tenn Stacks. So from there we just kept building. Every time we saw each other on campus, we would chop it up. I've been to a few of his parties. I have all his music, from over the years. He's definitely looked out for me. Looked out for me with some opportunities. Embrace me, and I definitely appreciate you for that. So after that long intro of everything, I finally introduced to our audience, Mr. Tenn Stacks. So he's gonna, so Tenn, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell them about who you are, what you do, what your name means, all that good stuff.
I just want to just add upon that story that you said when I met the brother Nick, right? The brother that was selling those buttons, he went to Howard too when he was my man. He and I was in business school of B together, and I was kind of defending him because he was just trying to make ends meet and didn't really didn't want to go the street route. So we was kind of having that conversation with those two sisters because sometimes people, a lot of spectators don't really understand the grind and the struggle. And during that time is when the Great Recession was happening. So, college students couldn't even get a job at Burger King. It was either that or you were trapping in the streets, and they was locking folks up crazy, you know.
Right.
And this is before legalized marijuana and all the amazing things that are happening now, you know. So, but yeah, you know, so I just wanted to say that. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You know, my name is Tenn Stacks. I'm gonna start off by what my name means. It means the educated Negro never stops teaching another cat knowledge and swag. You dig? Swag meaning surviving with all God's grace. It's not superficial, but super spiritual. You heard? So I'm from Harlem, New York. You know what I mean? Where we like to get a lot of money and get fly, as you see right here. I'm representing Harlem World to the fullest. You already know. You already know.
Oh, man. Hey, I'm it out, man. What's up?
Yo, you know, see, DJ, we got another saying too. God is good, and so is this grustler. And with that credit score, you know, I gotta make sure you get your hoodie too. You heard? But well, you know, I just, you know, I mean, ever since I was 7 years old or whatever, I always wanted to rap. Like I wanted to rap since I was 7. The first, you know, record that I was able to hear was Arrested Development, because my mom was super Afrocentric, and it was that and Tracy Chapman that was in the crib all the time.
Oh,
so
wow.
then really put me on to like all the mixtapes and all of that. And when Mace Harlem World came out, I was a young dude, and I stole the CD of Mace. And then my mom, is it okay? Can I curse or can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I'm in the room as a little kid. I'm like maybe 5 or 6 years old, talking about if niggas want to act, we can act. And then my mom came in there and whipped my ass. But I'm gonna keep it funky with y'all. That was the best ass whooping I got, because I mean I was like, I'm gonna go get that No Way Out Puff Daddy shit. You know what I mean? That was next, the No Way Out joint. You know what I mean? So and like, you know, so like Biggie was my favorite artist, Jay-Z, Nas. So I really, really wanted to pursue it. And I started a plan since I was 7 years old. You know what I mean? So I would go to I would win all these poetry slams. I would battle. I would cipher. I would just do anything I can, because I didn't really have no money. So I just did everything to build a buzz in my community. You know what I mean? And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, the community kept on telling my mom and my family that, like, yo, your son is nice. You know what I mean? And that's how that started. So then when I figured out, you know, when I finally got around some people that were in the music business, you know, they would kind of tell me like a sentence worth of information a year, you know, because the music business, and I mean, really any business, but specifically the music business, where people in our community that feel like they've made it big, they always want to kind of like keep the superiority against you when it comes to information. And that's the number one thing about our people, is that, you know, when we were in slavery and they gave us the Bible to read, we took that and got real revolutionary. We got real innovative, and we definitely set a precedence of what America is today from just reading excerpts off of the Bible. You get what I mean? So, I was getting frustrated because I didn't understand the game, and I didn't understand why I wasn't getting the information that I really needed. And I did everything that they wanted me to do. So I was like kind of their intern running around and still getting this information. But what I did know was how to captivate an audience. You know what I'm saying? And from there, you know, I just happened to be at the library all the time, because in the beginning, I wasn't going to go to college because I felt that it was fiscally irresponsible for you to put debt on a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, and you want me to take out 40, 50, 60, 70, almost to $100,000 in debt with no guarantee that I'll be able to make 6 figures after 4 years? You're fucking crazy. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you look at it from that perspective of, yo, I just didn't understand. So I was preparing myself to figure out how I could be an entrepreneur or go into a trade that was so far that would make me, if I was going to become a plumber, I'm like, all right, I'll be a plumber, make $250,000, take $80,000, and then do marketing and promotion for this, because I know that CDs and and flyers and things that I could captivate the audience, because when I was in high school, I was throwing parties and stuff like that. So I figured that I could apply that same notion of having a product and bringing people to a place where they can enjoy that product, that then I'll be able to do that in the big leagues. Now, when I got into those positions of people that really told me the business, I knew that it was a far more, I needed to go to business school, and I needed to really get a far more understanding of how the business worked. Because, you know, people would say things to me like, well, you know, I grew up, like I said, in a revolutionary, socially conscious household where they're like, well, Tenn, one of your chores is to register people to vote. So I'm just doing it because people in my hood know me, they love me, they trust me. But I didn't understand how to really monetize it, because I was just building off of the fact of popularity. And what I was thinking deeply to myself was, how can I make popularity equal profit? You know, because being the ill nigga doesn't really mean that you an ill nigga. And 50 Cent said something that hit me in an amazing way, where he was like, damn, homie, in high school, you was the man, homie. What the fuck happened to you? So I ain't want to be one of them dudes. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see how I could monetize people listening to me. Because people were like, yo, they would ask me like, yo, Tenn, what we doing for the night? Tenn, what's popping, right? Because I was the go-to guy to give them, to let them know where to go. But if I have all this organizing power, but I don't know how to make any profit because I'm young. So I figured that out on my own through reading various different entrepreneurial books from Barnes and Noble and going to the libraries and things like that, because I had a passion of making money, because, you know, I grew up, you know, broke, you know what I'm saying? And I really didn't. But the thing about me is that I grew up broke, but I didn't grow up uneducated. Like, my family were educated. So that's the thing that I had, you know, the one up on, and I would educate other people, because I'm from Harlem, where if I eat, we all eat. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's our culture in Harlem world. So, you know, that's really my humble beginnings on where I started. Now, I got signed to Violator Management before I got to Howard University, because I was running around. What I did is that I took all my money. I was like interning various different places, and I took all my money, and then I pressed up CDs and mixtapes and just passed it out to the neighborhood everywhere. And I just lucked up and passed it to the right person. You know what I mean? Not really knowing who this person was. And what I did on the back of the mixtape is that I put my phone number and an email address. So if anybody wanted to book us, or we could do a promo run, you know, you have to understand, this was my hobby. This is my first love. This is what I wanted to do. So I just was like, well, you know, whatever we can do to make it happen. Not really not having all of the knowledge together, but I just knew that we needed to get ourselves out there in a big way. So I got a call from Violator. I was a part of a rap group during that time. And then we went there, we performed for them, and they signed us. And then we got to open up for T.I., Little Scrappy, I-20 of DTP. And I was like a 17, 18-year-old kid that, like, you know, because I transferred to Howard University. Just wanted to say that. So I was a transfer student. So I went to CCNY. I worked at Rock when Puff was doing a Vote or Die. I was doing all of that because I just wanted to get in. DJ and no disrespect, DJ Angeletti, the dude that played the Mad Rapper, he played me on 44th Street. I mean, like, I was going to anybody I could see in New York so I could just get my shit popping. You know what I'm saying? And I could have cared less about getting curved. I remember Busta Rhymes took the CD that we had and shattered it on 42nd Street and told me that we sucked and all type of shit. But it didn't matter. Like, it didn't matter. Because I was just like, yo, and I was saying, you know, I'm a bold, fearless Negro. So I used to say to these niggas, I would be like, yo, remember my face, or whatever, right? And they're like, yeah, all right, whatever, nigga. Then when we got into Violating, and I seen Busta and these niggas, they were like, oh shit, that's the light-skinned nigga, you know what I mean? That's the light-skinned nigga with 50 niggas with him, you know what I mean? That was pressing us about these CDs, right? So do that. So I say, and you have to understand that, like I said, how I got into money management is because, like I said, you know, my family is very, very, very educated on certain things and how to survive and thrive in America. So all the money that I made, I just saved it or reinvested some of it back into, you know, my dream of being a rapper. You know what I mean? Really, just to be quite honest with you. So while we was traveling and opening up and doing promo tours and we were making thousands of dollars and stuff like that, I stacked all that money. Like I stacked all that money. Had my uncle help me get couple CDs, made a, you know what I mean? Like, you know, had an investment when like, you know, of like when Google was popping on, this is all in the early 2000s and shit when I was a kid. And just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Now, I was going to school too. I was going to City College at the time because I really wanted to stay in New York. But my group and I broke up because, you know, they didn't, you know, we were going to these different meetings and we were gonna get signed to Def Jam with Rock La Familia. We were gonna get signed to Rock La Familia. The deal was on the table. Jay-Z pulled the plug on Rock La Familia. It was at the time was a different division of Rockefeller, but it was like the Spanish version. But the dude that was running it was from Harlem, and he liked us. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm from Harlem. So I remember having arguments with them because they used to sit me down and they'd be like, "Yo, you got to go solo." But at the time, I'm super loyal to my team because I don't want them to feel like, "Oh, it's fuck them" and whatever. So I would be like, "Yeah, nah, nigga, it's the team, blah, 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 blah." Which fuck me. You know what I mean? Like I got into mad arguments with these guys about it. Make a long story short, we didn't get the deal. My two group guys decided they were going to go different ways and have children really, really young. And it just left me stuck because I was spending all of the money. Like I put up everything, you know. And I really like try to like, you know, have myself like a Dame Dash. Like I was really, Dame Dash is a big staple in Harlem. Always has, right? And I was a part of Team Rock during the Gauchos, if any of you two are familiar with that, because Dame Dash and Rockefeller did a lot of stuff for the community, especially in Harlem. So, you know, I was trying to figure out why this wasn't working out. So one day my cousin called me and he was like, "Yo, bro, just come down to Howard Homecoming and fuck with me." Now they've been trying to get me to come to Howard for a while. So I'm like, I'm about to be a sophomore in college at this point. And I'm like, no, I'm a freshman at this point. We didn't get the deal. Things are slowing up. So I go, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna come down there. I went down there, Young Jeezy performed that year. I'll never forget it. Young Jeezy performed. People, and I seen all these beautiful black women, and like everybody was so friendly and nice. And that's when I decided that I was going to transfer to Howard. Now, I was shitting on Howard because all my family went to Howard. My mother, my father, my grandfather, my grandmother. You know, the only person that didn't go to Howard was my uncle. He went to like Dartmouth in like New Hampshire or some shit like that. But everybody in my family went to Howard University. So what I did is I went into the A building, the administration building, for those who don't know. I got all the paperwork, right? I put the transfer through, got accepted. None of my credits transferred because I was in a public school. And that's another thing about this college business, right? Where it's just like, yo, I was so angry because I just spent a whole bunch of money going to college to fall back on because I'm listening to my family and not really listening to myself, because initially I didn't want to go to college, right? Because I didn't understand that I thought that was just so fiscally irresponsible that you want me to blow this money without no guarantee. And that was just my issue at the beginning of college. So when I went to apply, I had some coin on me because I saved a shit ton of money. Then I end up getting a small loan that I eventually pay back, which I'm going to explain how I did that. And then I fucked around and went to Howard University. I went to Howard University. I transferred. So I have all these U-Haul trucks and shit coming to my aunt's crib and also my mom's crib. My aunt like, where the fuck are you going? I said, I'm going to DC. I'm going to Howard University. They're like, nigga, what? They're like, I was even because you have to understand, I got baby pictures of me with Howard paraphernalia. Like my grandmother, my mom, everybody setting me up to go to Howard. So I just wanted to be rebellious. Like, no, nigga, I'm not. No, right? Before I can say all of that shit, right? I had to put a plan in place. You know what I mean? To figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do. All right, boom. So I talked to my friends. I sit everybody down. True story. This is the fact, right? I sit all my niggas down. 30 of us. I'm like, yo, it's not clicking in New York. It's not clicking in Jersey. Yo, we got to go down south. So I feel like Rico. Rico and Paid in Full. Like DC. Yo, we got to go that move. DC. Because I mean, when I went down to DC for the first time, I mean, I just thought I was in a swaggerful New York dude, but the sisters was just encouraging me and shit. I was like, I'm out. This is heaven. I thought that was the book of Genesis. When I got on the yard, I thought that was the book of Genesis. You heard me?
No exaggeration.
Did you feel me? Yo, Nick, am I lying?
Not at all. No exaggeration.
Right? So I get to Howard University or whatever, right? And I start figuring out who's who or who's the ill person on campus. And I used to battle them in front of this center called Blackburn. So I was like, yo, win, lose, or draw, niggas know who the fuck I am. And I came in there, you have to understand, like, you know, I already had some money. So I was just like, I came there with the Louis Vuitton backpack and all this fly shit. So even if I lost the battle, yo, I could see the women being like, that's a fly nigga with the green eyes over there. And then, you feel me? The very least, I just thought that could be an opportunity for myself. So basically, I started entering all these rap battles and getting the who and building my name through there, and then got introduced to people because Howard University is a tight knit place where it's its own bubble, and I didn't realize that until I got there, where we had our own radio station that everybody listened to at that time. We had our own way of life, way of everything, you know. And I just really organized myself. And it took me about a year to do, you know, and I just went to every event and I just shut it down. Like I just shut it down. You know what I mean? I networked with people. I talked to people and really built a major fan base that has now catapulted me to where I am today, you know, period. And what I did is I used the same organizing tactics that I did by my political organizing when I was a kid, to throw parties and do everything else. So then it got to the point where I can't. What I used to do is I used to go out. I used to try to pitch my business to the Howard elite or all the elites. So the elites would be like, "Well, no, nigga, fuck you. We're not doing that." And I would be like, "Okay." Right?
Bougie.
You gotta understand that I'm a street. I'm an educated street nigga. So my mentality is like, yo, well, if you're not gonna do it, I don't like none of you boat shoe, you know, ashy ankle, wearing niggas anyway. So you gotta understand, like, Kanye was a big influence because Kanye said an amazing line in the song "Touch the Sky," like, these niggas better than me, and I'm like, man, fuck these niggas, right? So what I did is that I just organized street hood niggas that were going to college and was like, yo, we the alpha men, we the men of principle, we came here to better ourselves so we could go back to our communities to better our communities. Fuck these poo-putt niggas, let's run this shit. So I was dealing with this beautiful sister from Miami, and I was kicking it with her, and we had a whole bunch of sisters, and everybody just loved our vibe in our crib. So the girl was like, "Yo, fam, you should just start throwing parties. You already have a party popping. You just not making no money." So then me being the Harlem guy that I am, I'm like, I'm gonna do that, right? So we started doing we started doing all type of intricate shit, like book Thirsty Thursday, but we also have to read a book or some shit to get the women. Like, we just did a lot of really interesting things to build the name up. And then it got so popping at one point that we were having a kickback. And this one sister from New Orleans, I'll never forget her. I still talk to her to this day, right? she's like, yo, and she's like, yo, this place is lit. What is this? And you know, I'm from Harlem. I'm feeling myself. I'm like, yo, beloved, this is the swag house. I just said it out the blue. Like, it wasn't really like, yo. So the girl I was messing with during that time, she was like, yo, that's the name. You should make that the name, Swag House. So then we had a whole party thing where every Friday and Saturday we had a party with a themed party every week.
Wow.
Every week. So Friday we would do a house party, which was a theme. Then Saturday we would do a club party, which was also a theme. So people can win prizes. Then we got Red Bull involved, Monster Energy drink got involved. Then we started getting sponsorship from it, which that was my whole idea, my business plan, because I went to business school. So we organized people and we did it where it was really fun. But the thing about it is that, you know, when I used to host my parties, I used to be the icebreaker. And which means is that what separated me from everybody else is that I would make people dance with each other and talk to each other. Because the only reason why motherfuckers are coming to a party, and let's be all honest about this, is they're looking for sex. They want to feel sexy. They're looking for sex. They want black men, black women, men or women. That's why we go to the club and pay $50 or buy out the bar. We ain't doing that for us. We doing that to attract somebody else. So that's the thing that we did with the theme parties, where we did things like sweatpants versus leggings, right? And we used to do things like, you know, best twerk dancer or somebody. We just kept the momentum going every week, and our competitors just couldn't keep up with it. You know what I mean? That's just the bottom line to it, to the point where, you know, it got bigger and bigger. So what's the next step? I was like, okay, now we're reaching a plateau where we don't want to bore our audience. So the next thing that I did is that I am all at the same time all this stuff is happening. I'm still going to school early in the morning. I'm still battling people during the evening, and I'm still putting the tweet out on what our new party theme was each and every weekend, right? So now I'm like, I have to make a song. Like, I have to make something that signifies Howard University. But what happened was that at the same time, I was going back to New York and I was still trying to get a record deal. So my man, his name is Black the Beast, he is one of the forefathers of the Get Light, Aunt Jackie, Chicken Noodle Soup movement and stuff like that. He takes me to Rough Rider Studio in Yonkers, New York. Now I rap for Wild, the one of the CEOs of Rough Riders, and the dude was like, "Yo, you're nice, but what makes you different from everybody else?" I couldn't answer that question. I didn't know. I went back to the studio. I'm trying to figure out what am I gonna do to then revolutionize what I'm already doing at Howard University. I find this beat. The beat was, I love the Asher Roth song. I love college, but I wanted to do something for HBCUs because we're never talked about, ever. Like, nobody ever talks about how lit an HBCU is, where all the black billionaires come from. You know, we're always talking about, Harvard and but no black billionaire ever came from a PWI. That's a historical fact. So I was trying to figure this thing out, and I came up with My Life at Howard. So I recorded the record. I went back down to DC, and then I started performing the record everywhere. So what I did is that the popular DJs would DJ all of my parties. So in their contract, they had to play my record. And that's how I got the record, because I didn't know anything I didn't know how to get in on the radio. So you have to understand, the streets is the streets, and the underground reigns supreme. Hip hop started in the underground. So I just took those, guerrilla marketing tactics, and I used it with that. Then they would play it over and over again. Then we got, pretty women involved, and then we started having T-shirts that said, "Who is Tenn Stacks" on them, and women were wearing them, men were wearing them. It was a fly thing to do. It got
genius.
Yo, our promotion was so ill even when like, you know, a homeless person would ask you for some change, they had it on. So it was a trickle. It was a trickle. It's a fact. Nick was there. Like, Nick was there. So, you know, and the thing is, the number one thing though about popularity is that I never wanted anybody to feel like I was superior to them. And that's how Nick and I met. Because you have to understand that I see when Nick met me or whatever, and this is everybody. It's like I was there. I was Howard's Jay-Z. So it was like, you know, meeting somebody that they never would thought would talk to them. But I'm a community dude. I'm a neighborhood nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that I'm as good as my next record, and I could be whacked tomorrow to people. You know what I'm saying? So my number one thing was just showing that love and support, because you have to understand that I just wanted to make history, but I wanted to make sure that I wanted to let the people that supported me know that I'm 100% with them, because my heroes was the men in my family first, right? And then like my great-great-grandfather helped A. Philip Randolph in the Pullman Porter. You get what you did? My grandfather, you know what I mean, helped cure tuberculosis in Harlem World. You know what I'm saying? You know, these men and my grandmother, my grandmother, you know what I'm saying, was a big education woman and was doing the breakfast for children before the Black Panthers. We talking, you know, my great-great-grandmother, you know what I mean, was doing the same thing. A lot of people don't understand that civil rights and black history didn't start in the 1950s. It was a lot of people that put in a lot of work that groomed the Malcolm X's and the Martin Luther Kings, and these were my family. Like my family gave Marcus Garvey almost $500,000 in gold to start the Black Star Line to go back to Africa. So I come from that. Then you got to understand that I'm watching. I'm a astute follower as well too. So I'm watching brothers like, you know, Muhammad Ali be in Africa, be in the hood, and say, and I'm watching Mike Tyson say things like, "You're a scared man if you can't be with the people that support you and you have to understand, I live by those principles. So talking to people that may not feel like they have a social status means absolutely nothing, because every person on earth has a gift and they have something that brings something to this universe. It's just the fact. It's just when they're able to tap into that. And if I can talk to them and coach them into that, we have a beautiful relationship. And that's how I met Nick. I mean, it was just like, I just happened to be, it was like literally the Tea Party was on one side, the Liberation Brothers and Sisters, and me and motherfucking Nick is just chopping it up, having a good time, and we roasting these motherfuckers. That's how we started. Roasting it. And I could see in Nick's face, like, wow, this motherfucker is really this cool. Like, cause you know what I mean? Because when people tell stories of you, you just think that, you know, you're like, you know, people change around you when you become popular or successful. But I'm an individual and I've always been, you know, who I say I am. And when I met Nick from that day on, that was my brother, and whatever he needed. And I even told Nick that day, I'll never forget it, Nick. I told Nick, I said, listen, since I met you, look, you will never have to pay for a party ever again. And he's then if I'm involved, just let me know and I'll make sure you're good money. And that was it. You know, that was it. You know, and I supported Nick ever since then. And Nick has always supported me. And we've been friends ever since then. So, you know, that's my story. Now, currently,
man, you done lived 3 lifetimes already, Tenn Stacks.
Yeah, you already know, man. So that's the story. You know what I'm saying? That because he wanted me to speak on the Howard University thing, which you know I try to like stay away from. You know, because you know Howard University. When you go to Howard University, brother, they will never let you live that shit down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they can't, you know, like, I was like, you know, like, you know, Chadwick Boseman, anybody that went to Howard, they gonna let you know you went to Howard and you was hungry on that yard. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but currently now, still doing music, You know what I mean? You know, bigger than ever. You know what I'm saying? We had, you know, I'm at almost at 250,000 streams organically by myself. I sell merchandise as well. That's moving crazy. This is one of the merchandise Harlem World, as you can see. And then I have another hoodie called God is Good and So is His Grustle. You know what I mean? Currently, I put out 2 albums, one in August, one in July, and one in August, and I'm currently working on a new one now. Because of COVID, I would have had 50 shows lined up that I would have been promoting, but unfortunately, COVID shut that down. So I had to give everybody their money back. But then the fans came through and bought all the hoodies and all the merchandise. So I want to salute them and say I love them for that. I also have a podcast that I do called Tenn Talks, where we just talk about current events and just get chopping up and giving game like y'all are giving game about the world and things of that nature. And you know, and yeah, and I got some new stuff that's coming in 2021. Hopefully, if COVID is over, you know. But for right now, we just focusing on this more content and giving people quality, good music coming from the East Coast. I make East Coast music. I'm like in the same categories like Jay-Z and them when it comes to the sound of my music. Because when you go, I look at it from this perspective. When you go to the South, you're looking for soul food. When you go to the Midwest, you're looking for what they eat, what they have. When you go to California, you're looking for their type of food. So I got to give the people what New York sounds like, what New York tastes like. You know what I mean? Bottom line, I can't be anybody else. I come from the Mecca, and it's going to be the Mecca until you know I move on to heaven. And I have a statue in the middle of Harlem with a top hat. But until then, until then, I'm gonna keep on giving people this quality music and stuff like that. I am a brand ambassador, and a business partner of another ice cream endeavor called Uptown Ice. We did really well in 2019. It's a soul food ice cream company. That's low glycemic as well too. So we have flavors like sweet potato pie, grandma's cherry pie, double Dutch chocolate. Because when you come to New York City, we want you to taste New York. You get what I mean? And I think that the market, especially in our culture, especially when we're talking about Black culture, that's a multi-trillion-dollar business, we're starting to commercialize it where it tastes as bland as McDonald's. Right, and when you come to New York or you come to New Jersey, you want to get a piece of pizza that's made by the real people that are from that diaspora. So when you come to Harlem, I want you to taste Uptown. I want you to taste Uptown. You dig what I mean? And that's the bottom line to it. Because my number one thing is this, right? And then I'm done. Is that when we talk about gentrification, right? Sometimes we have to take that in our own hands and we have to fight that back to where we need to bring it back. Because at the end of the day, right, putting your head down, it's up to us to keep the culture living. It's up to us to make this thing happen, right? You know what I mean? And nobody's going to do it for us. So I'm not looking for no politician or anybody else to do what I was brought up to do. My family instilled in me to make this happen in my community at the end of the day, right? So that's what we're trying. That's what we're not trying to do. That's what we are doing. Because now when people come to Harlem World, they think of Tenn Stacks. They think, oh, I'm going to Brooklyn. And respectfully, fuck Brooklyn. You know? and that's because we rival each other. Now it's love, but they know it's just like
right.
Yeah, shit. Like, oh, and like when I'm going out of town and shit, it's like, you know, are you from Brooklyn? I find that offensive. I find that so what? You know, I just think that we have to really build what our culture is. Like when I go to New Jersey, I'm going to the local spots in New Jersey because I want to taste New Jersey. You dig what I mean? So that's it. Like that's the bottom line to it. So I think that we've lost that way in some senses because, you know, the people that were in position like the Dame Dashes and the folks that were cursed folks out are no longer there. And we really need to get back to that because that's what New York looks like. You know, like Bill Burr said, he said, finally, when what's my man from Ghostbusters that got punched out in the Upper East Side, Gutenberg. When Gutenberg got hit up, you know, because New York got soft. You know what I mean? We went from us being New York and New Jersey. We went from us being thorough and mean to, you know, passive aggressive and vegan. This shit is ridiculous, man. You know what I mean? So it ain't nothing wrong with veganism, but the passive aggressive shit, that's not New York, that's not New Jersey, that's not the tri-state. You know, it's a who you knew. It's a who you know city. It's a who you know state. We not mean. It's just that, nigga, we built a lot of shit on this block, and you not finna come over here and say, well, we're gonna have a gluten-free bar over here. Fuck y'all. No, hell no. You know, I can't go to Beverly Hills. I can't go to Beverly Hills and just put up a Ray Ray's rib shack. They'll tell me to get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So that's where we are. And I say this with no disrespect, because I respect all cultures, but you have to understand, you gotta respect mine too. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
That's where I am. That's where I am. That's what I do. So thank you for having me and allowing me to talk this damn long.
Man, my man, Tenn Stacks, then brought all the thunder. Man, kudos to you, brother. So let me ask you a quick question off the top. Let's say this becomes the normal way of life for the next 3 to 5 years. How do you move forward as an entrepreneur in the musical world and monetize this platform without losing the step? You said you had 50 concert events scheduled for 2020, and because of the pandemic, they were eliminated, and you had to give people their money back. What's the creativity inside of you that helps you to actually move it to the next level and not miss a beat? And for those other entrepreneurs out there that may just think about giving up and quitting.
Very good question. So, you as an entrepreneur or as a person that is trying to be successful in this society, you have to really move with the times, but you have to create an algorithm for yourself where you can do so. So to answer your question is that what I've done is that usually when I put out an album, I do an album once a year. But I knew that since COVID, people are going to consume things more because they're quarantined. So what I decided that I was going to do is that I put an album out every 3 months, showing the same audience that I can make the same quality of music, but just in 90 days, which that impresses the audience. At the same time that I'm doing that, they're catching up to the music, and I'm shooting videos to things that I'm still shooting videos of things that I was currently promoting to catch them up on what's going on currently. So that means, so while the music is being put out at this specific speed, I'm still giving them cinematic visuals of how that music looks. So when I make music, I don't make music where it's just a same scenario video. You got the butt naked girl with the money. No, it's a cinematic way. Like that's why I love craft, and like I make my music just how we watch TV and film, right? So I keep people's attention in that span. At the same time that I'm doing that, I'm presenting style to them, and I'm giving them a piece of what I view what New York is. So I have Harlem World, I have God is Good and So Is This Grustler, I have various T-shirts. So that's how I've been able to then make my money with merchandise. So as I'm giving them this content, I'm creating a support the Grustle campaign where if you want to continuously see this thing move and you want me to continuously make this music, I need you to buy some of this merchandise, because then that means that I can then give you more content. So that's what my fan base has worked with me on during these times.
So how do you tie that into your activism without diminishing the value of your activism? Because I mean, I see a lot of rappers out here, and probably the first one I've heard of that purposely went to college. I mean, that's a aberration in of itself. But how do you not diminish your activism and not get them conflicted when I hop onto your platform and you're selling me this merch and the merch is just stuff that I want to buy for an experience, but the activism is changing the world. So when you have right now people coming, at Ice Cube and saying he's out of his lane, putting together this, contract for Black America, how do you approach that and make sure that they don't get, conflicted and they still have the authenticity to them?
That's a very good question. And with Ice Cube, you have to understand that, when it comes to artists being activists, and the average spectator doesn't know what business looks like. Like the way I present my activism is through comedy in certain instances, right? Where I basically say what people are complaining about, but in a funny, condescending way. Now, if you work for a corporate company, right, or you work for any company, it's probably some form of Republican that's working with them, right? When you're doing business in America or anywhere, the vast majority of movies that we watch are funded by Republican billionaires, but we don't know their names still, right? So I don't necessarily I ignore the smear campaigns of that because they're not my fan base. The thing is that like you can have a Yelp review and people can be like, "Oh, this product is shitty," right? But most people that love your product won't even say anything. They just secretly, so I don't necessarily tackle it that like, listen, I am a pro community individual. I'm also an entrepreneur and I'm a businessman. In order for you to be a merchant in this society, and I'm talking all over the world, you have to deal with conservative, Democrat, and moderate people that are doing business. That's the facts of life. Because if that's not the case, half of the things that we consume, you should cancel. Most people won't do that, right? So the way I do it is the only like it's a political outcry when they're talking about Ice Cube, because Ice Cube did what every other business people do is that they sit down with the powers that be to create a business plan that will benefit them and their community. But it's only when we're dealing with foundational Black Americans where that is always an outcry. When every other ethnicity has things like super PACs where they do that all over. So I'm not really necessarily tackling on anything when it comes to that, because people that know my activism is supporting me on my journey. Now you're gonna have naysayers, but you can't please them all, and those are not my demographic of people that I'm looking to buy from me anyway. So I mean, you win some and you lose some in that demographic. I'm very neutral in some aspects because I really don't talk about my political agenda if I'm voting for this person or not, because I'm only promoting pro-community and pro-local communities because that's what matters the most. So when we're talking about Trump, and that's the thing, is that people are just so hell-bent on hating Trump and seeing what he says. I mean, people have also said that he's the most racist and worst president we've ever had in history, and that's just not a fact. I mean, that's just not. I mean, you don't know about George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. I mean, it's so many other. I mean, they've been racist and disrespectful, their policies. So I don't get into those conversations when it comes to that, because I try to keep people focused. Where it's like, okay, hold up. I know that you're a Facebook freedom fighter and an activist right now. When I've never seen these people in the street, you have to understand, like, I'm really outside. I'm really in the street. I really put money in people's pocket. People put money in my pocket. I really do real business. So when they're spectating you have to understand the people that went after Ice Cube work for neoliberal corporations where they're supposed to say that. But at the end of the day, people loved Trump 10 years ago when he was on NBC saying you're fired. So I don't get into those rhetorics because most people don't know what, you got to understand, you have the consumer and you got the innovator, right? And you got to understand, when people are spectating, they're coming from a consumer view because they just don't understand on how business works. So in my case is this: I make sure that their needs are being set on what we're doing for the community, and I meet those needs and their qualifications. But I usually don't get into political talks about Trump, and because at the end of the day, I'm anti-white supremacy. That's it. Like that's it. I mean, I'm not gonna. And the thing is about us as Black people is that we need the labels where we have to let everybody know who we're voting for, what degrees we have, and all this other shit that really doesn't matter. But I'm not here to diminish or argue anybody, because if that makes you feel good and that makes you feel superior and that gets you through your day, that's perfectly fine. However, I just want to get people focused where sometimes people go off and the truth go off and they don't even read the truth for what it is. And I have to get people focused again, like community. Let's get back to the community, because at the end of the day, that's where I'm at with stuff. So I never really like, but I am critical on. I'm critical on both parties as me being a commentator, but I don't act as if I take a side on one or the other. Because to be honest with you, like I said, I'm a community person, period. And whatever we can do to benefit the communities that's where I'm going, and that's just the bottom line on how I move.
So with that said, Tenn Stacks, what would you say is the essence of your activism in the community? What will be the tangible that I could feel, touch, and know that it'll be there after you've done your deal, that I can make sure that it will go multi-generational and be transformative? What would that be?
Yeah, easy. The policies that we got to sit that we set in place, the people that we put in place. You have to understand that politics is business.
Oh yeah.
They raise money and they spend money for us to come out to vote for them. And they spend millions of dollars. Sometimes they spend billions of dollars. So you have to understand that this is an economical policy. The thing is that when you're coming, if you want me and my constituency to come out and vote for you, we need tangibles. And if we don't get those tangibles, then we're gonna put that pressure on you. Period. Like that's just what it goes. That's how it goes. Every community has an organization or community organizations that really run the vote. It's community organizations and unions in every city that really is the ones that that vote people in. If you really come down to the nitty-gritty part of it, and I don't even get into those conversations about, oh, well, this person needs to vote versus this person. You have to understand that if you want to get a group of people to come out and vote, you have to make the investment, because all they see is trauma. And when you come from a traumatic environment, a traumatic household, you have to nurture those relationships. But every business knows that. And that's the thing about our community, is that we've just been blindly doing things for 100 years. And now it's to the point where we haven't got anything from it. And we're getting broker and broker and broker by the year, day, and minute. So I don't fault people for arguing and having their own free-thinking individual. So what I would do is just put tangibles in place and work with those people so they can get their needs met. And that's the basics of being a resident, a tax-paying resident in any community. Period. Like I'll give you an example. I'm from Harlem. I live in a historic part of Harlem called Strivers Row. And we have all these plots on 135th Street, and that's like the Sunset Boulevard of Harlem, right? Okay. So you had the tourism authority come in there, taking pictures of all the Black people and everybody that was over there, right? And I went to the Black Association and said, listen, I know other Black associations, like people in LA and things of that nature that do business with TMZ and things of that, where we can get, a check or some compensation for us.
Old fee, baby.
Exactly, taking pictures of us in our environment. I can't go to Star Island, right? So I can't go to Star Island or places in Hollywood without having some consent. The tourism authority decided that they weren't going to pay anybody, then they couldn't come. That's it. I mean, it's that simple. It's not even really, because the whole point was, like, I pitched it to my community, like, no, we benefit from this, because without Black people, there would be no Harlem Renaissance. Without Italians, there would be there'll be no Alphabet City. Without Chinatown, there'll be no China. Without the Asians, there would be no Chinatown. So that's what I'm saying. You have to understand tourism and how business works. And now, if they don't want to do it, they can't come over here and make millions and millions of dollars off of us, and we're just sitting here starving. That's just not going to happen. Because it's getting to the point where you're having these tourism of all these, tourists taking pictures of the projects and taking pictures of us as if they're in, a safari. And it's offensive. It's offensive. But if you want to do that, then you gotta compensate me like how you compensate when you go to the movie theater and you pay almost up to $100 to go watch Tom Cruise. I mean, at the end of the day, the tangibles need to be set, and that's just how business works. But then you got people that are being paid. They try to make smear campaigns to try to like steer people away from making any money, and it's ridiculous. So I don't even get into those conversations because it's redundant and ridiculous.
Distraction campaign.
Exactly. Everybody, like DJ, you wouldn't be a money coach if people didn't want to make money. So at the end of the day, for people to lie to your face and say, well, I don't want to make any money. I don't think that we deserve reparations. Or shut your ass, shut the fuck up. You definitely are being paid to say that. You know what I mean? Because nobody makes anything for free where you're on C-SPAN like, I don't want reparations. Like, what? Who doesn't want rep? I mean, every ethnicity that's been marginalized in America has gotten a check besides foundational Black Americans. That's a fact. So I'm not going to have that. Yeah, so it's just like Chinatown, like even with Chinatown, when you go on their tourism, when you go down there, they make you go to specific restaurants and spend money. But then you come to Harlem, you think you're just going to walk on the block and take pictures of me? No, hell no. That's just not how we. No, that's just the bottom line to it. So that's what we do. To answer your question, put tangibles and policies in place that will then allow generations and generations of people to eat. Period.
Man, that's a great answer. So, describe to me, Tenn Stacks, what are the key characteristics of a successful entrepreneur, and how do you teach somebody who has talent and gifts that don't know that they were engineered to be an entrepreneur just from day one, but they just been indoctrinated the wrong way? Because I mean, you've got a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of energy, and you knew what you wanted to do at 7. But a lot of these people now, they're stuck and they're waiting for another person to give them a check because the system is set down, but they still got to provide for themselves and their family. So how do you help? And again, how do you describe what are those key characteristics of a successful entrepreneur?
Good question. So you have to plan, right? All right. You have to be ambitious. You have to be patient. And you have to be consistent. Those are the 4 elements that will make you become successful in anything that you do. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take because people get hung up on, and then you have to have, and the 5th one I would say is great mental health. And I'm going to explain that at the end. But you have to plan. Now, if it takes you 25 years to plan on what you're going to do, that plan will be executed properly because you know exactly what you want to do. You know what type of goal that you want to hit, and you want to know you'll know how far you want to go. That ambition will just give you energy because you're going to take an L. And I always say 2 L's make a W. And let me I say that, right? Because you learn from the loss. You learn from the loss. You understand the loss. And now you know what it takes to win. You know what I mean? And really having your mental health, because there's going to be a lot of people, your family, your fucking friends. I tell rappers all the time, when rappers ask me for information, I say to them straight up, listen, nigga, your fucking friends are not going to make you rich, bro. Your family is not going to make you rich. Because motherfuckers are like, oh, yeah, I got 50 niggas with me. Yeah, and none of them, they're all going to want a free Harlem World t-shirt.
Right.
Okay? But you have to understand that you have to look at that as an investment, because if you give them the t-shirt, they'll wear that shit like a billboard, and people don't understand that it takes money to make money at the end of the day, right? So you're going to take an L off the bat. Your first 12 pieces, your albums, whatever the fuck you're going to do, you definitely do. Because Tropicana is out there giving taste tests. Motherfucking the movie theaters are letting people go see the movie and move. They have focus groups on stuff like that. And people are not understanding that, homeboy, you're not going to homeboy, homegirl, or whatever you want to consider, what gender you want to see yourself as. You have to understand that this passion is going to cost some money, and you're not going to make money right away. So that plan needs to be action. That ambition will fuel you while you're considering your plan. And it may take a year, 2, 3 years to get people to buy your product. And that is the patience comes into play, because people are looking for things that's happening overnight, because we're being marketed as viral means an overnight sensation when this motherfucker's been working to go viral for 15 fucking years. And now you happen to be on their radar. Now all of a sudden they're new to you when this motherfucker's been grinding since 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? Because when that's the number one thing, and you have to unlearn. And the mental health aspect is you have to learn how to be calm, stay cool in the midst of hate, because people then start blaming cultures for their unsuccessful moves. Like, for example, right? When people come up to me, I never act as if everybody knows me, because I'm always grinding like nobody knows me, right? And when people say, well, I've never heard of you before, I go, no, I haven't been on your radar. That doesn't mean I don't exist, and that doesn't mean that I'm not exclusive. I'm not on your radar, because you can Google me, but I can't Google it. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? So, here. You know what I mean? Like, people.
Right. True that.
I was joking with my boy because I was out in Target. I'm currently in Boston because I'm wrapping up a film. And I was in Target going to go buy some like socks or whatever. And this girl kept on following us, right? So I was just singing or whatever that I make more money than her. I mean, like, so she thinks she's going to bust a bunch of dudes that make 6 figures to buy $12 worth of socks. I mean, if I'm stealing socks, you got to start, If I was going to do something, I would, and I'm just hypothetically, I would rob the place, not take no socks, you know what I'm saying? So, people, and why I bring that up is that people will do things to you to discourage you in your journey, period. Like, that's just what it is, and you can't get mad at people for doing that, because then one day they'll love you, and then the next day they'll hate you, and then they'll love you again. I've seen it. Like, when I first came to Howard University, people was treating me like shit. Like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? This nobody. And then the 2 semesters later, oh my God, and I'm just looking at them like. But once again, I mean, I just know the rules of the game, and that's just the rules of the game. People that don't look at you or view you as successful or alpha will disrespect you, and you got to be calm, cool, and collective about it, and chalk it to the game. Not argue with them, not put the same level of energy to that. You cannot do that. You got to just stay focused and stay patient, because if you're passionate about what you're going to do, it's going to be a fucking journey. Bottom line.
Yeah. Great nuggets, Nick, man.
Yeah.
Bringing that fire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I had to let the people know that this is Tenn all the time. He's not just doing this because he's on camera. This is how our conversations go all the time. Offline. So this is him for real. And then, shout out to Ramsey, CEO of What's the Movement, in the building, showing love. We see you out there. He was on the show a few weeks ago.
What's the movement? What's popping?
Yep.
What's happening?
Yeah. So before we get out of here, I follow you on social media. In our last conversation that we had offline, you mentioned that you've been, and I noticed it too, that you've been going in on the red pill. So I definitely want to take some time not to talk about the red pill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you can, so you go ahead and go in on that and talk about why you decided to preach the red pill gospel, my brother. and why men need to hear that message.
Well, and I just want to just be clear. I feel like that one of my goals is to really have more awareness with Black men, and then have awareness with Black women, and then when we both get that knowledge, we can come together and have a civilized conversation of respect. But you have to understand that as Black men in media, we're not marketed as being alpha. We're not marketed as being men of respect. We're not being marketed as men of focus and of love and care. We're always being marketed as a stupid, ignorant, dumb nigga or beta male provider that gets finessed.
Effeminate.
Right. So why I preach that is because I feel that, men need to learn, and I kick this knowledge to women too, make no mistake, but brothers need to understand that you are a high value black man in society. And sometimes when you hear on social media, your mom may say it, your sister may say it, it may bring your spirit down. And the thing is that women, especially pretty women, have access to things that we don't have access to. Bottom line.
Facts.
Bottom line to it. Now, their marketing plan is to act timid and act as if they don't have those amenities, but that's not true. We all know that. Like, for example, it would take a straight black man, this is statistically a fact, 6 months to a year to find a new career over a woman that's beautiful and smart with the same degrees. It takes her 2 weeks. And then you have to understand the climate that we're in, where they are a minority, and how the federal and how jobs look at that, where if you're black and you're a minority and a woman, they'll take that for a quota. So we don't understand the bigger aspect to that. So a lot of men, walk around here with their head down and feel defeated. And my number one thing for Red Pill is letting brothers know that, look, you are a amazing, special individual, because they market it like men, like there's more women than men in the world. So they market us like we're more, it's more men than women. That's number 2. And number 3 is that we need to bring back being men of principles and honor and code and shit like that. It's not about disrespecting women or putting them down. It's never about that. It's about being high value and knowing your worth as an individual, because men get finessed so much, it's ridiculous, to the point where men are creating and promoting simping and all this other like weak Negro shit that I just don't fuck with. And then they try to poke their chest, they got bird chests, and they try to poke their chest out to me, and then they get knocked down, and then they're looking like, because I'm like, yeah, that marketing tool you got marketed to, homie, isn't the case. Because no woman in her right mind wants a poo-putt weak nigga. I don't give a fuck what none of them say. You heard me? I don't give a fuck what none of them say. You dig what I mean? Like, to the point where, ask Nick, we be on the yard, we be in the hood, you know what I mean? I try to introduce myself. Shorty I already know who you are. All right, cool. So you coming to eat this Chipotle? I mean, like, you can't. It's just the fact that I'm just teaching brothers to understand the move of the room full of vultures. Because a pretty woman will finesse you at a house or home if she's on that type time. You know what I mean? And what we do is that we get all googly-eyed and we get all starstruck and shit like that. And sometimes you got to dap her up like a street nigga. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to be like, instead of hugging her, like, all right, what's good? You know what I'm saying? And I talk about that all the time, man. You know what I mean? I was even saying, and I always poke fun at that on the internet. And look, and women, and you can even see, I post pictures all the time. The number one people that buy all my merch is women. You know what I mean? And they be in my DMs like, yo, keep going. Because at the end of the day, they miss that too. I mean, really, nobody want to see your tight pants and your ankles with boat shoes with no socks. Niggas go like, you know what I mean? And then you're wearing the satchels and shit like that. Now if I was a robber, I would just snatch your purse like this is the 90s. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's been where we enough is enough, man. Nothing wrong with being a masculine man. Cool. And the thing is that this is the thing about sisters that promote this niggas ain't shit thing, right? Is that they find the stupidest, uneducated, nigga that they can find to justify some bullshit, right? Because it's never you. Because you be like, where the fuck did you like? Look, let's keep it real, fellas. We've all met a sister that's been through so much bullshit. You're like, the fuck? Like you think in the back of your mind, even though she's fine, like, why are you finding this all the time? And you have to understand that you attract what you want to attract in the universe. You dig what I mean? So that's why I preach the red pill shit, because I just choose not to be finessed. There's no way they're finessing me. Because I'll fuck around and you just get soda and nuggets fucking with a nigga like me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, I know this is being recorded, so I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? But like women tell me all the time, like, yo, oh, men be tricking on me and I'm fucking bored. And I don't be giving them shit. I don't even drink or smoke. So I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all I do is really give them this good game and treat them with some respect, and it goes a long way. So that's the reason why I be preaching it. But I've been on this shit since I met Nick, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no woman on the planet can say she got me. You know what I mean? That's just nobody finessed me out of nothing. You know what I mean? If I give you something to eat, I mean, I feel like everybody shouldn't be malnourished. I mean, I feel homeless too. That don't mean, you know what I'm saying? That don't mean I'm gonna get you a 5-star. You gotta humble them. You gotta humble them sometimes when you dating certain women, like especially sisters that come from the Caribbean or whatever. Like, I be dead Googling their shanty town. Like, what? You come from there? What? You came from, like, and that's another thing. I travel the world. I know that what you call exotic is a hood rat in the island. You know what I'm saying? Like, beloved, all you do is eat bananas and drink Red Stripes, and you asking a $400-$500 date from me? I'm laughing your face. You shitting me? Because the thing is, my cousin Chucky Black, I asked him too. I said, yo, what's the most expensive place you ever took a chick? This nigga said, my crib. But think about it, right? Rent is, and this is the marketing. This is the gas. This is the gaffle that they hit you with. Oh, you're a broke ass nigga. If you take me to your crib, just think about that logic. I'm a broke ass nigga that took you to the crib that I own or rent. You're right. You don't think about it because we're just like, and meanwhile they have
probably that street knowledge.
You feel me? Meanwhile, because I'm telling you, I've done that in front of Instagram models like every July 4th, and I'll invite y'all if COVID opens up to this thing called Vespa, right? And we have the whole section, and I be in there, be Instagram models in there. And these 3 girls was talking to me or whatever. And I was like, oh, where are your people from? She's like, oh, I'm from the Dominican Republic, but a man got to do all this. I said, what part of the Dominican Republic you from? Right? She's like, oh, I'm from La Vega. I said, oh, word? I just pulled it up and showed everybody it's a fucking shanty town. I'm from Harlem, baby. You can't finesse me. So I said, listen, this is what I said to her. I said, listen, we could go up North Philly. I get you some rice and beans in the Presidente. That's all I got for you. You know what I mean? And she started laughing because she's like, oh, and that's another thing about pretty women that's finessing, because they say, oh, this nigga's full of game. Oh, I fucked with this nigga. You know what I mean? And then when you get the girl or whatever, you got to make her feel like it's a Bonnie and Clyde situation. You know what I'm saying? So, beloved, listen, you're gonna do OnlyFans and you're gonna be butt naked on the OnlyFans. You gotta break me. You know what I mean? Like if you finessing niggas and I can't stop your grustler, you heard? So, like, I'm your little brother. I need Jordans too. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You gotta be upfront about it, and you gotta look her on the face like, yo, cut it out. Santo Domingo is a hood. Santiago is a hood. Cuba, these shanty places is fucked up, and we like, oh, we're palm trees. No, she butt naked in a mud hut, my nigga. Like, you need to cut. I'm just keeping it funky with niggas. Because I be out there. I was in Martinique. I shot a music video out in Martinique, and this one sister, whatever, right? Yo, she had like, cause like back, certain countries they be having like the sodas, but they be in like the glass shit. She was holding a Coca-Cola for 12 hours. Me and my niggas clocked it, the whole shit. She just looking at me, smiling. I'm like, yo, when you gonna finish this soda, beloved? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause she ain't have no money, B. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't have no money in the
She wanted a sponsor.
Yo, listen, man. Look. That's that. I tell women all the time, it's simply irresponsible for me to give you some money.
Hello.
I look like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, and then I'm like, do you invest in your church or local church like this? Like, yo, nah, I'm not giving no ties to her. Like, this thing about it, no, seriously, like, what we do is we grind up, right? We all want to be upper echelon of something.
Everybody want to move to the next level.
And then you get finessed by a girl from a shanty town that has water bugs as pets. Nah, you out your motherfucking mind.
Right.
Nah, hell no.
At the end of the day, they need to have better respect for themselves.
That's a fact. Yeah, but and that's up
to modern day prostitution. At the end of the day,
yo, brother, listen. All I'm saying is this, right? When I went to Dominican Republic for the first time, bro, we had to go to a real fucked up hood to get an empanada, and from there, I was just like, this is not even what these niggas that get money even eat. They wouldn't even think. And now I'm hanging out with motherfuckers that's like getting, milk. Like I'm on the yacht and the boat, and niggas is getting millions. And I asked my man, like, where can I get an empanada? Nigga laughed at me in my face, like, you don't eat that shit here, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And then you come over here, like, they don't smoke hookah. That's some shit in New York, man. That's what I mean. Like, them niggas don't, you know what I mean? That's why I asked them, like, where in DR are you from? You gotta ask them because we all got Google Earth. So those images pop up, and then you show her the images, and you're like, and you want what? You know what I mean? And then she doesn't think, she thinks you're stupid.
Right.
No, so you gotta call her out on her weak finesse.
Right.
You know? But then when you do that before she curses you out, it'll with a joke. Boom, you got it. I mean, that's what it is. So,
yeah.
Stories of the red pill.
Yeah. That's what it's about. Yeah. That's the reason. That's the reason why I had to introduce you to my man LeBray, because he's the one that put me up on the red pill. Like me and you, we've always had these conversations, but within the past couple of years, that's when you started putting it out there on social media. And then around the same time, that's when LeBray started sending me the content. I'm like, I got to link these brothers up. They definitely got to build and get on the broadcast.
Now, me and him was building crazy. Because it's just like, once again, like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm not finna like go out my way. Like, yo, listen, I encourage people to read The Art of Mackin by Tariq Nasheed. Even he said too, like, yo, no more than $50, not per person, the whole day. You know what I mean? And that's back to even being an entrepreneur, planning. Because you get, like, literally, I tell dudes all the time that don't got no money, especially during the spring and summertime, bro, go on what's those sites? Living Social or some shit like that. You can go get a boat ride or whatever. You get like 7 drinks for free under $15 and just go all around the city or whatever in the skyline, finesse her crazy while the music is playing. You did, right? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need the motherfucker. And if she doesn't respect no shit like that, double. Like, you gotta double. But we don't like taking rejection. That's the thing. Like
that's the thing. Yep.
You can't be successful if you can't take rejection. That's the bottom line to it, man. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, I'm a black man in America. People tell me no every day, babe.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's part for the course.
Part for the course, yeah.
Part for the course, baby.
Like,
part for the course.
Yeah, lessons in life right there.
You already know.
So where like you said, where can we catch up with you at Tenn Stacks? Man, I mean, dude, we got to do a part 2 to this.
Yeah.
My man, you are a wealth of knowledge, experience, and what you're excited about for the next quarter, 2020.
I'm
Q1 coming up, 21.
I'm Yo, I'm super excited for 2021. I got, like I said, man, I got new music coming. I got new what oh for real, what's the movement? See, I'm gonna curse his ass out. When's the project? Fuck you. Nah, let me stop playing. Yo, I got two projects out now, back to back. I got the joint called American Grustle 3. We Ain't the Same. And then I got another joint called Once Upon a Time in Harlem World. And then in a couple of months, I'll announce it right now. I'm coming out with a new album called The God of Metropolis. And every 3 to 4 months, I'm gonna put out a new project. Hopefully, if they get this vaccine popping, I can, promote these festivals and shit that I got booked for. And we can rock out like that. Got a new I would love to get you guys too on my podcast, Tenn Talks, so we could get that done. Got new Tenn Talks podcast coming. Got some film projects popping off too that I'm gonna be doing for next year. So I'm really happy about that. I'm getting back to acting again. Because I was like bullshitting and my team was like, yo, you funny and you can act your ass off and you're bullshitting and go get some of that TV money. And I was like, nigga, fuck you. Sometimes,
I could definitely see you at stand up, man.
Yeah.
I come out and watch stand up. Get your own special on Netflix, brother.
Yeah, you already know. You know what I mean? What I'm saying? So, I'm just working, man. Just trying to get this new merchandise out. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, it's Tenn Stacks, TENN STACKS, and you could just Google a nigga. It's that easy. You already know, man. I pull up right there. You should, and yeah, what I mean? That's what I'm doing. So, support the Grustle. Thank you for having me. And that's what I'm doing, man, for the next quarter. So
Sweet, man. Another superior guest, Nick. Be knocking it out the park. I'm just happy to be here to sit in on this combo.
Likewise, no, I'm happy to be here too, man, because they say we don't exist. You know what I mean? You let the fuck nigga tell it. They say we don't exist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, no, we just getting started, man. I definitely got some more stellar guests coming through. Next week we're gonna balance it out a little bit. Have some feminine energy on. Got my sister Isna, another Howard sister coming on next week. HU, you already know. So we could definitely look out for that, man. So yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. We're gonna close out.
And one last thing, DJ Money. DJ. If COVID is open, we doing a huge party, Howard homecoming. Know what I mean? I'm gonna reach out to Nick or whatever, so you be in the building. You can see the stories that we see. You can see it for yourself. You know what I mean? It's gonna be crazy, and I'm performing that night too.
All right.
Yeah, we definitely doing that.
Hey, let me know. I'm there.
Right.
Yeah. So after we close out, I think I'll close out with one of your songs. But we'll close out how we usually do, and then follow up with I think I'm gonna do Harlem River Drive. Yeah. We'll close out with that one. Yeah. So until the next. We got to promote all of our upcoming, all of our social media, website, and upcoming shows. So. Of course, catch us on Wednesday nights for a story. Of course, we're here every Friday, Nick's Knowledge and Notions, DJ the Money Coach Expert Financial Series. We have another installment of that coming soon. We also have a special. We also have special running.
Halloween special. Get the email list is going out. Should be dropping tonight.
Yeah,
definitely dropping multiple times tomorrow. We a little bit backlogged. That's my fault. But we got some tremendous specials for Halloween. And then we got a huge event coming up November 15th that we will let you know. And we will tap into the Black Friday hype, and we're going to flip the script and actually make them dollars come back and, into our community. And we're going to do cooperative economics and actually make you money instead of you being a consumer and spending money. And that's definitely something that is at the core of what we're about here on all of our platforms. So yeah, man. So yeah, Nick, hey man, close it out, man. This has been awesome. And hey man, we looking to bring more and more awesome people like Tenn Stacks. And then most importantly, we work together and make our community stronger, because like Tenn Stacks said, dude, this ain't no happen chance, and we are definitely real men. And as I like to call them, we HIMs. You know, we're heroes with integrity, real men with humility. So that's all we got to say, and it's on you, Nick, baby. Rock and roll.
Yep. So the website is DJTheMoneyCoach.com. We're 7 Spheres of Money on all platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So until the next time, we wish you a pom-pom lifestyle. That's plenty of money, peace of mind, and come join us on the beaches of the world. And to close out, we got Harlem River Drive.
God is good. Service is grustler. From Harlem, baby. Let's take a ride with a nigga. Yeah. Look, riding on my river, my city gets really pretty. I got a bad bitty that's with me, see life is litty. I'm from the block where niggas get money, but they don't fuck with cops. But we still keep it jiggy, get chillin' Harlem hots. From 8 to 7, I'm living in Harlem heaven. My niggas is reppin' Lennox, they bustle and got the weapons. But let's just feel the vibe, people watching hit the bench. I'm laughing at a post that was broke with a homie friends. I don't fuck with ratchets, I'm Rafael de la Ghetto, cause Harlem is filled with tulips, and baby, it's something special. That's right. But they got boys that's working things to some mirror. They call us small, but we thorough in every borough. The Renaissance, we living up to the hype. It's a Harlem state of mind, so call me a Harlem night. The Betty Murphy, but don't ever call me quick. I'm quick to fuck you up, but I ain't quick in giving dick. My mouth is slick cause I'm from the village of wisdom. That's speaking knowledge and wisdom. This bustle is so religious. Unless it's still the breeze while we looking fresh to death. You stressing for the evil, this is heaven at its best. Your son dressed look prosperous, beloved. It's really kinda bougie, but that was so did the nuggets. But let's just catch a vibe. Try to make it tribe. You pretty like my city on the Harlem River Drive. What's up? Harlem River Drive.
Give a little bit of hook too.
On the Harlem River Drive. On the Harlem River Drive. On the Harlem River Drive. Yo, my shorty's amazing.
All right, that's all we're gonna give y'all. Y'all gotta go and purchase that and download that if you want to hear the rest. Available on all streaming platforms, right?
You already know, like I said, man, Google Tenn Stacks, TENNSTACKS. And just don't kiss these hoes in the mouth and get your credit scores up. You know what I mean? That's it.
All right, that's it, y'all. Thanks for joining us. We out.
Peace.
Peace.